Nice to see you, Maureen.
Thanks, nice to see you.
Hi, Sam.
Oh, you always do.
We appreciate that.
Tammy, make sure over time, within the next month or two, we get this back on the agenda to decide what we're going to
Yes,
do
I
with
already
it.
just talked with her, she's gonna get me a cost analysis for the 7.
Yeah.
It seemed like the consensus was that,
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
so I'll be on it.
I'm going to ask you to do Chapter 90 authorization for a
Yeah,
truck.
well, I think Tom was here for
Oh, he
it.
is here. Oh, there he is.
There he is. You've been over by the door so long, I lost track. Is it- Yeah, if you want to come on up and
Okay.
walk us through.
We do under new business have an item called Chapter 90 authorization for a DPW truck, discussion and vote. Tom has been acting as as one of our interim DPW superintendents and takes that responsibility. We thank you for doing that. And we know as a commission, we talked a little bit about the need for a truck and the need obviously to take it from Chapter 90 as it would be used for road work.
Thanks, Sam.
Well, you really can't close it. No.
It's a public meeting, Sam.
Sam, you got to leave it open.
Just move the crowd away from the door.
You got to leave the door open because it's a public
Just leave
meeting.
it cracked. Leave it a foot open.
Yeah.
My God.
Some interesting stuff.
Excuse me?
I was telling everyone in the hall we got some more interesting stuff if they want to come back
Yeah.
in and listen.
Okay.
Maybe they don't think it's
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, as I submitted some quotes, one of them was for the 19-foot, or the 19-foot, love 19-foot, the 9-foot stainless steel plow. That's replacing one truck 14.
Yeah.
Which truck is that? 14.
One of the 1-tons with the stainless steel dump bar.
Okay. 2017 or 2013? Which one?
Yes.
Okay.
They're pretty much identical.
VIN number, kidding.
Try to remember truck numbers is, been a little bit difficult.
No
Anyhow,
worries.
I did get a third quote,
Okay.
and that one was actually higher than the other two. So I just happened to see it tonight, I can email that up. So that's
So
kind of
we're
it.
talking about the plow now?
Yeah, I just want to go over kind of all of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So we're going to, okay.
So the 9-foot plow, that's just to replace the one that's kind of just, it's tired, it's done.
Yep.
And we're looking at the additional plows for the bigger trucks. Those are the 11-foot Wausau plows, which match what we've been kind of
So-
geared towards. I sent a quote up for that.
Those are 18,000 change.
18,100 piece. There's a couple of things from there that we, oh, actually, yeah, there's an option for them that we don't need to take on, but those 18,100.
Okay.
The time frame on those, we're seeing is 400 days
For a truck.
for the plow.
For the plow.
The plow too?
So the plow is, hopefully they can get something in before that.
What truck will that go on?
That'll go on any of the big ones.
Yeah, right, but is
So,
it for one? 'Cause I mean, I see what we have for plows here, and I'm just curious.
Yeah, off the top of my head, she's got one, Five's got one, I think it's like either 6-3 or 6-4, to replace the Everest, fixed plows.
All right, I see that. I can't really read it, because I didn't bring my glasses, but is that $18,000 plow, is that,
The Wausau.
Yeah,
that has to be stainless?
those ones are actually poly. So those are, the replaceable skins.
Yeah.
We've got one now that. we've
Needs a new
had,
skin.
I think it's 10 years old. 10 or 11
That's a
years
lot
old.
of money. I mean, I do it for a living in the winter, and there's no way that we should be paying $18,000 for a plow that we're only gonna use for a couple of months, if at best, because the way the snow has been going, I mean, you know, you
They are-
agree?
They are,
Yeah.
they are
Well,
high, but doing what we're doing, they are they are the plow, like they shed the snow off, the power angle plows. They afford us the ability to do a lot more than just the fixed angle plows. And like I said, we've got one now that's, I think it's 11 years old, and we just have to basically pull the panels out, replace them, and
Keep going.
keep going.
How much does that cost with the panel replacement?
Panel replacement is $2,200.
Now, is this the first time we've done a panel replacement, or we do
Yes.
these? Oh, wow.
So 2,200 every 10 years.
That's
That's
pretty cheap.
not too bad maintenance-wise on those.
Well, see, my recommendation would be obviously that, that we would authorize purchase and work with the commission member, or Scott and yourself, to determine exact what we're back.
Well, as I spoke before, I was put in contact with someone from the Auctions International today.
Yeah.
And I think you and I should work on this because his name is David Cazal. What he does is he works with the state. He's with Auctions International. He works with the state guy that handles surplus equipment. And we get, as a town, we get trucks at rates that are severely lower than you could buy them on, Auctions International. In fact, the town of Hardwick purchased one today, actually gonna be picking up tomorrow, I believe. And the truck is probably worth anywhere from 35 to 45,000, and they got it for $10,000 because it's that deal. And they have a lot of plows. I spoke briefly with him. We're gonna go over it tomorrow, but there's a lot of stuff available, and I don't think we really should be, the position we're in right now with everything, I think we need to pinch the pennies. And plows aren't they're not a big, I got a plow in the front of my truck and I run on the state highway, and it's not it's not like the big thing. They will last a long time. A poly plow like you were speaking about, that I plowed with that for 12 years, and you can take the skin off right now and use it on your plow down there, and it's fine. So, they last, and I think to get us through what we're doing, I mean, put the big ticket items later on in the capital plan or something like that, but I do not believe we need to spend this kind of money.
Here's my only concern. We gotta have trucks that can plow on the road. So, we have to make decisions that have to be made quickly to get certain plows. Now, some of these are 400 days away.
Yeah, you're not gonna get them anyway.
No, I'm not gonna get those anyway. So, I mean, the hurry to say that we're gonna vote, for the Wausau plow tonight probably isn't, as critical as some of the other stuff that we absolutely need. We need the smaller plows on some of the 1 tons. We need to make certain that the trucks are in terrible shape. They're almost as old as me and being in high school, for God's sakes, 1970s. I mean, they don't owe us anything. The problem that we have, from my understanding, is that we have a lot of terrible backloads to plow on, and the plows take a huge beating
Oh, yeah,
compared to pushing snow on the state road.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so.
I understand how it all works.
Yeah, well, you understand how it all works way better than I do. My concern just is, snow's coming, and so we need to at least equip what we have, get what we have running, and I think we've done that, we've got it running. And now it's to make sure
Done very
that
well.
we have the plows in place so that we hopefully can do the job when we're called upon to do it.
Right, well, the first thing is that, basically what he's saying with that $18,000 plow is 400 days out, so we can wipe that
Yeah.
off the table right away. I mean,
And so isn't the truck that obviously we'll buy for Chapter 90, but we feel the need to, because that puts us out to, next January before we'd probably see the truck.
The thing is, one of the things we're struggling with, especially as a town, in my tenure here, we've had at least 4 different capital plans.
And they never get funded.
They've never been funded, they've never been followed, and that's what's putting us into the position that we're in now. Is all of a sudden, all this equipment has all become old, it's become out of maintenance, and now we're having to play catch-up. And as we keep putting Band-Aids on stuff, we're buying stuff that's 10, 15 years old and trying to fix the Band-Aids and fill the holes, it's catching up to us. And that's where we're at now. We're seeing it we've seen it with police cruisers, we've seen it with fire trucks, now we're seeing it with DPW stuff, even just our buildings. And as that's where you folks come in as the leaders, is to start getting this stuff on the capital plan, start getting these conversations going so that we can get out of where we're at. Is that $18,000 a lot of money? Yep, absolutely. But like you said, Mark, they last. And when I look at stuff, I want something to last. If it's gonna last 10, 15 years, that's what I want. When I do stuff with the sewer plant, I want it to last out. Like the projects we're doing now, they want it to be 40 years out. I want it to go 50, 60 years out. That's how I look at these things. So, I'm not looking to put Band-Aids on stuff and just get us 5 years down the road and kick the can. Because that, I don't think that's fiscally responsible for any of this.
Right. The asset management has been, atrocious. So I think we have two aspects to look at. We do have immediate need, but we also do need to be planning for the future needs. The longer we wait, the longer it takes to get. Costs go up for things. Hang time to get things increases, generally speaking, nowadays. So I know, there's a lot more interest in what we do to get through this winter, but I think it's, at least appropriate to be looking at what we're doing long-term to start, handling these issues.
I mean, the things that we need to do tonight, we need to certainly get a fixed rate sheet for having ancillary people help us with plowing and sanding and salting and all of that kind of stuff. And so we have that to grapple with. As far as authorization of a DPW truck.
From Chapter 90.
Yeah, that's out of Chapter 90. That's certainly within the purview of the select board.
Right.
We certainly can do that. And snow removal, contractor rate, that we can take care of. Snow plow purchases, discussion and vote, that's where Mark is having, some concerns about.
Right, and I don't know with that money, too, where that would come from if we would need to allocate that at a town meeting.
Which is what?
For the 18,000?
Yeah, 18,000.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but.
Well, obviously, it could come out of our capital plan, money, so we could do that at town meeting.
Yeah.
At a
I
special.
don't know if that's just kind of getting into the whole budgetary type stuff and whatnot. I don't know if that has to come out of like capital planning, or does it come out of snow and ice, or, we've already determined that it can't come out of Chapter 90.
Right.
But that's kind of what we gotta, I'm looking, where is it gonna come out of?
Right.
And how do we start looking forward to replacing this stuff down the road?
I think that.
If I remember correctly, it can't come out of snow and ice unless a plow is destroyed in
Midterm.
mid-season.
It has to have the
during.
body on it, correct? Four-season body?
I don't know.
That's what I was told. It has to have the four-season body on it to be able to come out of snow and ice.
You talking truck or?
I mean, Chapter 90.
Yeah, no, we're talking about snow and ice for a plow, though.
Oh, just a plow.
For snow and ice, I believe for physical assets like that, it's in case of an emergency situation where something breaks, not necessarily, and it's for overtime. We can double check that though, but that's what if I remember correctly, that's what that was for.
And one thing we do know, that the Wausau plow isn't available to us for 100 days, right?
400?
Their
400 days.
Their
I'm
lead
sorry.
time on their quote is 400 days.
Okay. So, I
Okay.
mean, that we can do at another time, but,
Yeah, I think we might have to look at capital for that.
yeah, my only
Unfortunately.
concern is that we want to make sure that we get a fixed rate sheet voted tonight,
Yep.
so that we can move forward with that.
And the smaller truck plow.
And the smaller truck plow for certain, that we get those things done.
The other plows that we have, the other Everests, we're gonna do what we can to get them on the road.
Yeah,
Because we have to do something.
yeah.
So
Plows are not like highly advanced pieces of equipment, okay? And they require some welding, some new bolts here and there. So I think that we can probably make it all happen in short order.
The only thing is,
You say it's not complicated, but then you have hydraulic fluid leaking all across the ground as you're, running around. But maybe that was just my experience as a kid,
well, the only concern that I have, we're woefully understaffed, especially in the mechanic area. So when we say it's a few bolts, it's a few pieces to mold together, weld together.
Well, we've hired somebody that has been in there doing a fabulous job.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know what their availability is, because,
I think that they've been there full time, I
yeah,
think.
pretty much.
So we'll just add a couple more things
Yeah.
to the list.
Well,
we
I
have
mean-
work being done.
Yeah.
We're looking to be in good shape.
yeah,
So, we're not out of the woods yet. The talk of all these storms that are quickly approaching,
And let's hope they're not.
I'm hoping they're all rain.
Me too.
I'm a
Rain, rain,
kid
rain.
from Canada that loves snow, and I'm hoping to God it doesn't snow.
I know.
How about it Saturday after Thanksgiving, so.
I know.
Yeah, but they're not talking about anything significant.
Are you talking about a week away?
Yeah. It's on the forecast.
Yeah, I
so-
know.
Well-
I don't really listen. I mean, a lot of those, you forecast, oh, we're getting 12 inches,
Well, not talking about
18
inches,
days
I'm
from
just
now.
saying-
They,
Yeah.
they like to do that. They like to do that.
Well,
It
are
is
we,
what it
are we?
is.
pre-
I don't wanna just, I also don't wanna sit here and pretend like it can't just randomly snow tomorrow in New England.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are we prepared to talk about Chapter 90 authorization this evening for a DPW truck?
Well, we kind of started with C, with the snow plows. I don't know if we wanted to wrap that up with the smaller snow plows.
I'm happy to do
If we
that.
need to author, I don't know if that can come out of, budget items, if we can authorize something there without having to go to capital, but,
Well, I mean, if we have to go to a special town meeting to make sure that we're, we've got what we need, and we probably do have to go to a special town meeting anyway, we can do it one way, but these are relatively inexpensive and definitely in need currently, correct? The smaller plows. And that's what, 6,500?
There's only one of them.
And there's only one of them? It says here, one 9-foot whatever, and then this one down here, rubber is whatever that is.
So the actual cost of the plow is $6,440, and if we put a rubber deflector kit on it, it's another $430.
Okay.
So
So
The rough
6540.
roads.
yeah, and then $100 assembly, so you're looking at $69.70,
Okay,
$69.70 for that plow.
okay. I entertain a motion for the purchase of that plow.
I want to understand how we are authorizing that. Where does that come from? Is that coming from the DPW, but, like, where does that,
Well, obviously, we have,
like, I'm for it. I just want to make sure I understand.
I would suspect that Tammy and I talked today about where we would be utilizing money. We
Yeah.
think we could almost cover it out of ARPA, but we're not, you know what I mean? We're getting so low
Okay.
with that. So we also could go to capital, we have some money in capital, what is it? What's the name of their account?
Capital stabilization.
Capital stabilization, we've got money in there, we could take it out of there, but we need to go to a special town meeting. We plan to have a special town meeting to make some other moving of money to get ourselves ready to,
Mhm.
get our final tax rate and so forth done. So we will be in town meeting, I would say, we're hoping to do it
December 17th.
December 18th?
17th.
17th,
Okay.
and we'll be talking about that tonight. We'll have potential articles, what we provided by Tammy and town clerk, and we'll be opening the warrant to do that.
So I guess my only question, can we authorize this if we need town meeting approval, but if we think we can do it with ARPA,
Well, it's only
At least get it.
$6,700,
Yeah.
we can do it.
Okay.
Honestly, we have.
I would make a motion to approve the purchase then of the supply and assembly.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
quote from Vassar's for the 9-foot.
Yep, for the 9-foot HDX plow, for $6,970
Where's that from?
The second,
Vassar's?
from
We have
Vassar's.
a motion made and seconded to authorize the purchase of the plow as presented and provided for you in your packet. Those in approving? We have a vote?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Do you have a lead time on that one? Is that,
Those are pretty readily available. I don't
I-
have
I-
an
yeah, I
actual
think
lead
you had
time
said
on
that.
it yet, but
that's something we'll be using this season, you would
oh,
expect?
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
okay.
Hope that for the season use.
And since we're kind of going backward, we can go to B, which is the fixed rate
Yes.
sheet for drivers, if we need to have ancillary drivers, what would cost us per hour. Where did you get the numbers from? Did you basically look what other towns are paying at this point?
The initial, we started out with the state rate. We took that information. Then I got some information from Mark, and I got with Scott, and we ended up just scoping out other towns around the state.
I don't have that information I gave you in front of me. Are they pretty close to?
Yes.
Yeah, because I can't.
We kind of tried to do an average
Yeah.
based on like several different towns for
Mhm.
the Commonwealth that kind of matched us a little bit, along with the state rate, Worcester's, Holden, and this is kind of what we came up with.
Okay. So you think we'll be at least somewhat competitive?
Yes, yeah.
I think it must be very difficult to get drivers, because every place I drive by near DPW, there's a sign,
Yeah.
you know, contract plowers wanted, blah, blah, so I think it's gonna be kinda tough. I'm hoping that we have enough people on the ground that we can get the job done, but,
We've had a few people already stop in,
oh, good.
Great.
showing interest that they're willing and able to
Okay.
put a truck on the road or even to come help plow, so, that's.
What are our obligations from a, shall we say, insurance perspective? What kind of insurance do we have to get from them, or do we have to provide additional insurance with our vendor?
I've just started to look into contracts now, but they'd have to provide, there's a certain amount of insurance that they would have to provide, like a normal contractor, so it's like $1 million liability, that type of
Insurance
stuff.
certificate.
Mark would have a pretty good idea on that type of stuff.
We should talk with Maya to
Yeah,
make sure.
It's not too crazy. I mean, on the state, we don't have any more insurance than really we need to have, to be honest with you. With, you know, you wanna be insured and covered, but it's, you know, we're contracted by the state. It's just, you know, it's not really a requirement. As far as, you know, being insured and registered, of course it is.
Yeah.
But, it's not anything about.
I don't know if we have to take a rider. I mean, if we are hiring an external private contractor to do a function for us, do we have insurance to cover that? Say they run over two people's mailboxes. I'm being kind and hopeful, that's the only bad thing that happens.
Yeah, we don't replace mailboxes.
No, I know.
I know.
Oh.
Well, I didn't provide you the full package that one of the town uses as far as insurance and everything, wasn't that in that? I have to check that out.
Yeah, I have looked at a few different contractors, or contracts and packages, whatnot, and some of them, they actually, in it states that they have to name the municipality on their
Insurance
in their
certificate.
insurance,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, right at the bottom.
Would you talk to our Maya representative just
I
to
will.
make
I
sure?
think-
Because
yeah.
they must handle this all the time.
Yeah, it was just like with the 250th parade, they did insurance binder, just like Tom said, insured us on the bottom, and obviously we need a W-9
Yeah.
filled out.
Yeah.
So,
My guess is we've probably hired some external contractors before to plow in the past.
We've had drivers
Use
our
our
vehicles.
equipment. Okay.
Most of the time, it's like firefighters, call
Yeah.
guys.
Okay.
Would come in and
At an
plow
hourly
for us.
rate. Okay.
That's dwindled off.
Okay.
You know, obviously, if some of them were willing and able and wanted to, then we'd welcome them.
Okay.
It's a little cleaner that way, because they're already employees.
Yeah.
They're already in the system for payroll, that type of stuff. But if we can't get anybody there, then we definitely go inside that.
Obviously, any of the bigger trucks, the Class B is gonna be more increasingly difficult to find drivers.
Yeah.
Right.
2601, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was wondering, if we could gear some of our trucks in the future under 2601, and then we can put anybody in them. Well, because we really don't need, you know, that many heavy trucks, you know?
The biggest thing is capacity for material.
Right, but we've
Sandy
been
and
rolling that
something.
10-wheeler all year long, and maybe one 6-wheeler.
Well,
Because the other ones have not been runnable.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right, so we've been existing with that. I mean, I don't think capacity is all that.
The capacity is more in the winter time, when we're actually doing our sanding operations, because
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
when we
you
need
can put a
capacity.
decent sized sander on a 2601, you know? I mean, on a 26, you know? I don't know, something to think about, you know?
It's,
Add to our 10-wheeler, add another 10-wheeler, and then drop back on the 6-wheeler, drop back those lighter trucks that somebody could drive. You know, it's a thought,
it's a thought.
throwing it out there.
Okay, we have our rate sheet here. We need to have approval or modification and further discussion. Mark, I know you've reviewed these.
No, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a motion?
I would move to approve the fixed rate sheet as presented for the 2024-2025 winter season for contract drivers for snow and ice removal.
Second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the fixed rate sheet as presented by our interim DPW superintendent. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that looks like a vote. Tammy, we're all set with that? And
We'll put,
so we've got
get
to,
some sort of a package together with contracts and whatnot, get over to Tammy then.
Great.
You wanna get together on that with, state, the municipal liaison there?
Yeah.
I think it'll interest you. I mean, as long as you're in the seat, you know what I mean? I really think it should be looked at, because other towns take advantage of it. Why not us?
There is a lot of towns that use that auction.
Yeah,
That-
but we don't,
It's true.
have to, actually, we get them before they go
That's
to
right.
auction, which is good.
Yeah.
They don't
That's
even
true.
enter the auction then.
you know, and one thing, obviously, we want to get what we paid for, and so we have to have some level of sophistication in, you know, be participating in that
Oh,
operation.
absolutely.
So I'm guessing you're volunteering.
I would help, for sure. No problem. With equipment, I can help.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Did we want to take any formal action on A with the Chapter 90 authorization for a DPW truck?
I would like to.
Okay.
And so that if we, for DPW truck under Chapter 90 authorization, we all in agreement on that? Okay, I guess we look for a vote. I know the commission has talked about it at length.
Do we have or need a value to put on that, though?
We probably should have
Right.
a ballpark. Can you get us a ballpark for our next meeting?
500,000.
I think that's,
You're talking about a new one?
Yeah, well, yeah, we can take a look and see what's out there.
okay,
They can't even order them out there.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a not to exceed type of thing too,
Yeah.
but,
I have no idea what they cost, so
yeah, I'm not. Okay.
it's a lot.
I've never had to go shopping for a six-wheel truck or.
Yeah.
Six-wheel truck with all the stuff on it and with a
The
wing.
thing is, if we were to do it on chapter 90.
We can't put snow
it has
on.
to have a dual-purpose body, but it won't pay for the plows and
Right.
snow removal equipment,
Yeah.
so it's gotta be, we gotta
Right.
separate that part of it.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
We could look at it as a package, but somehow we'd have to separate the two.
Mhm.
So in the way the diesel stuff is going, they're talking about not being able to get
that's right.
ordering trucks out to Jerem first. So that's why I think we should be digging backwards into, stuff a little bit older, you know?
Not opposed to it.
What's going on January 1st?
Emissions issues,
Oh, okay.
motors.
Yeah.
It's like
Diesel.
school buses after.
Is this a situation where we need to order a truck before
Except I
January
think
1st?
You
I
can't
think
even
the
order
Green
them
New
now.
Deal is
Oh, okay.
gone by January 20, so I think I wouldn't worry about emissions so much.
No.
I mean, because we were frantic about buses, school buses, and now we're not so frantic.
They're
Because-
talking about running everything electric. I'd love to see that happen
Yeah.
with the snowplows.
Well, not only that, even with electric, trying to
See what
make,
happens after
trying to make
23
double
hours.
runs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
So, with all the snow stuff, and I know there's people
Yeah.
watching, is we have our work cut out for us this year.
Yep.
I myself, with everybody that we had working, we take great pride in the roads that we provide here in the wintertime. It's gonna take a hit. I want everybody to understand that now. I want everybody to have patience with us.
Yeah.
We've had awesome individuals
Mm-hmm.
in our DPW to do these roads and take care of the roads, and I think our performance over the past several years, the last 20 that I've been here, have really shown our capabilities. And we're starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So
How many people have we hired down there so far?
we have 2 truck driver laborers right now that are green.
Yeah.
Well, they're not green plowers, they're just green in town, and not running our roads, because they're not easy.
They're green and plowing as well.
Yeah.
They're,
The guy who's been plowing over in Warren for years, well, he's
Yeah.
green on our roads, because he's doing, roads, and, right off the,
this is a different ballgame out here.
What was the outcome of the interviews last week?
sad, because we missed a guy. Should have hired him that night, we
Hmm.
should have chased him to the car.
Yeah.
It just seems that things are going really slow.
It's-
You know.
We've had a lot of people turning the positions down, they just decline.
We have about 25 or 30 applicants for,
We had a lot of
and it just seems that
applicants.
things are dragging.
I've got a list going of people that have either weren't qualified, turned the jobs down.
Mhm.
Took another job before we got back to them, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So, in a matter of two business days,
Yeah.
the guy that we offered, he took another job,
Mhm.
so.
There's a lot of jobs out there, I mean, everybody's hiring. And then, at least,
All right.
it appears to us. Okay, so we're going to hold on, I think we're in good shape with snow plows, at least the small one. We need to have a discussion on vote to set a town meeting date, time. I think the town clerk has worked with us on that. And
Yeah,
so we're going to have December 17th, coming back from there.
Thanks, Tom.
When is the warrant going to be open?
so December 2nd, the warrant will be open and closed that same night, and the draft will be prepared.
Okay, so we'll just open and close the warrant?
Mm-hmm.
And just make department heads aware of that. I don't think it'll be any action anymore,
We-
other than
we-
what
we
we're
check
doing
with
to
the
clean up
attorney,
budget.
Make sure we could, yeah.
And obviously, so December 2nd is an important meeting for us to open that warrant. Now, do we have to do any kind of notification before the fact that we are planning on a December 17th town meeting?
Now that, so I talked with Ellen, and like I said, we talked with the attorneys, made sure everything was all set, because we have to make sure the tax rate with the budget,
Right.
as we discussed earlier. So, he said if we're all set, we're gonna get it all done this week, December 2nd, we'll have the draft open, close, you'll be able to sign, December 17th. We just have to make sure that, Ruggles Lane is open and available.
Okay, and you're gonna
Sandy's
take care of
check-
that?
Yep, so we'll check on that tomorrow,
The only thing I would tell you, what day is the 17th?
Tuesday.
Remember, we got Christmas concerts
I
and
know,
all that
we
kind of
thought
stuff
about
to work
that. It
around,
might have to
so
be the 18th.
call and, you know, because if they already have a date and it's that, we might have to move
We
one
did talk
way.
about that, me and the town clerk, so
Oh,
we know that there could be.
okay, so December 2nd, we're gonna open a warrant, close the
close it.
warrant, okay, and it's all has to do with putting numbers together to make everything work, okay. Okay, and we'll wait for the articles, obviously, to be put together for finance, and then obviously the town treasurer, and then we'll be checking those out with legal, and we'll be
Yes.
ready to go on December 2nd.
Yes,
Okay. I mean, it's gonna be a very brief town meeting.
yes.
What are the articles you're already pretty much certain are gonna be on?
Oh, well, we know that we're gonna have to take some money from stabilization to offset some issues in budget. We just don't know how much yet. We could end up, we'll know very much more as they continue to work on numbers. If you said to me exactly what, we'll know by December 2nd. So, that being said, unfortunately, there's so many, there's a lot of people working on those, well, you know better than I do, because you've done it more times than I have, getting that sheet ready from the Department of Revenue and get to set the tax rate and so forth, so we do have to move some money here and there. And we have to, and we're trying to also manage, what's happening in our DPW area, what's happening in our water, especially because it's very difficult to find a chief water engineer, like impossible. So right now, we have a company that comes in and does it. They have indicated to us that they're so overwhelmed because everybody has the same problem we do, getting a chief water operator. So they've kind of come because they live one of them lives in town, so it's been nice, he's been really helpful. But they said by mid-January, they figure they're done with us and come up with a new plan. So a new plan could be a cost that we have not included in our current budget. And in order, we have to have a balanced current budget if we have to add to it. So that's where we may be moving some money from stabilization to make everything.
Stabilization, not the water enterprise account?
Well, it all depends
Yeah,
where we could be moving it from there. It'll all depend how we're where we're working in the budget to make it work. And if it's in the enterprise accounts, I will smile all the way to the bank, because there's a considerable amount of revenue there that we can access, as you know, we can access. So, because we have very few applicants for water, and most do not have the chief's certification. And so,
Which we've been without for some time.
yeah, well, a couple of years now, I think. Yeah, so,
Four.
so at any rate, we will have, all of that will be obviously prepared for a town meeting, so. And we'll know more on the 2nd of December.
So
I give
guess
credit
the,
to all the work that's being done in finance to try to get this all to work.
The question I would just want to, consider, I know this is primarily a financial town meeting,
Yeah.
but if we want to, have the Barre Reservoir Dam, have something like that voted for in the near future, if that might be something we'd consider putting onto this one.
Oh, God, no.
No,
Yeah. I only,
4 weeks, you're.
it's kind of a short time span, but I figure it's
well,
at least
well,
worth
well,
considering.
the reason I say a no to
Yeah.
that is we're gonna be, okay, it's gonna be December 17th. We are not on anybody's radar from a family perspective on December, other than going to their son's or daughter's thing at
You're
school.
gonna be lucky to get 50 people.
Yeah,
to meet
yeah.
your quorum.
Yeah, which is fine, because we're just gonna be doing some, so I think,
We've had years
I
like
think
that.
I would not put it on a town meeting, if you're just looking for more, interest in, because if we try to do what we did tonight at a town meeting, we just have that as the only warrant article. We'll be there all night. Add another 150 people to that, if they're interested, and if you get the people who live down, let's say, 32 almost into Hardwick, they're gonna say, what? Why do we care about this? And I think the hard thing is to try to understand, what it's gonna cost us to maintain it is such a hard number to give.
Right, but we know already the number we need to initiate that process.
Yeah.
To start doing the land, to research what it would take to acquire the land, to potentially get a donation.
So you figure
And we would need to
30 grand.
appropriate, 15.
Okay,
10 to 15, I think that we'd had
That is
15
what
up
we-
on the last town meeting, and we passed over it,
yeah.
with
we
the
had 25,
expectation we would do
I
it later at a,
thought. I thought we had 25 on that.
I think it was 15, but we'll have to, we passed over with the expectation we would do it at a special town meeting later, so. I thought it was at least worth considering, but, if it goes to the next, regular town meeting, so be it.
Well, I'm always realistic about December town meetings.
Yeah, that's kind of caught me off guard, so.
So just for your information, and we'll be providing obviously more information from the finance perspective as we get closer and closer to wrapping things up. Our people are working very hard to make that happen. Anyone else have questions? So I think we're ready, on December 2nd, we gotta do all that, the warrant's open, the
Okay.
warrant's closed, make sure if there's a
Working
department
on
head
next
who has some reasonable thing that needs to be addressed, we can do that. We are in negotiations with the fire, we're in negotiations with an open contract with the DPW now, just because of interim salaries that we have to figure out. I don't expect any of that will be available or need any work, or we won't be putting anything on the warrant for that at all. Trust me, we won't be there. And we have the chiefs, the police chief, we will not have, the lieutenant, we will not be ready to go to December 17th with those. I don't think.
No,
I mean, we could be, but I'd be shocked, because it's very difficult to get people interested and enthusiastic between December and January 2nd.
and those contracts are things that would go into effect the next fiscal year anyway.
Not until July
so
1, correct.
That's, it would be odd to put on this one.
Are you afraid these budget items are actually gonna overrun before the end of the month of December? And
They
that's
could.
why you want this meeting
They
in
could,
December?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. I'd like to tell you no, but I
No,
can't.
I'd
I'd
rather
tell you
you
no.
But I
too.
can't. And I don't want to say to
do
you,
it this way
Yeah,
and be
and-
prepared rather than.
yeah, and what I don't want to do is tell you, I think this and this and this at this point, because obviously they're still working on numbers and, trying to see, well, where's this overlay account, what's this, like you say, what's with water? That be coming out of an enterprise fund, that kind of thing, making certain that some of our revenue estimates are particularly different. We're getting, our estimates for revenue seem to be a good thing, low, and we're doing much better. Some places, not all. You've been through this more times than I have, so
Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes.
sometimes you don't. And I think one of these could be sometimes I don't, but, and there's no question, even though it appears, people say, well, gee, you're not paying for that many DPW workers. Well, we're paying additional overtime. We're paying additional for, external companies to come in and fix plows and so forth at a much higher hourly rate than we technically would ever be paying any one person. So there's no question that we have some issues of concern in the current budget that we're worried about. So, thanks for asking.
Oh,
But I,
appreciate it. I was
no,
just-
but I mean, trust me, I wish we were just going, you know, to move free cash around. Probably not.
We don't have free cash, do we?
It has not been certified yet.
Has it been submitted this year?
Not yet, we're still working on that.
So,
I mean, definitely, obviously, in the future, once we start getting certified cash, we need to start saving.
and I would tell you that our, you know, the days of Jim Baird. Okay, but we
I was
look
gonna say, is that one of the budget line items?
big time. Because obviously there's been some harassment issues, there's been some investigative stuff that had to be done, and it has, you know, it's not $10,000 a year with a couple extra bills here and there, not anymore. It is very expensive, and that is, and even though I think we're very generous in the budget as we developed it, you know, it's a struggle. It's a line item that is very difficult to control in this environment right now. But I think, you know, we'll fix that and move on. So,
So, do you have to make a motion to do this?
well, I don't know,
December 2nd and
we-
17th?
we can make a motion to, at least on December 2nd, to open the
Yes.
warrant
We
for a
have to,
town
yeah.
meeting that would be scheduled for December 17th. And-
Sorry, there was one other. Did you still have a motion?
It wasn't related, but I just didn't know if this document would be posted somewhere.
Tomorrow morning, it'll be out.
You know, it might be useful, because it's awful in black and white.
You want the color?
Well, for
I
her,
have,
if she could put the color one up, don't you think it's much more, because half of this, I
that
don't,
would be helpful.
I don't know what I'm looking
The
at.
maps and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep the color one to post, it'll be on the website and my
Great.
government.
okay. So we'll be, oh, no, I just didn't think the
No,
black and
no,
white did much for me.
No, I didn't wanna make all these copies.
Oh, no, I understand that.
Oh, yeah.
I agree,
Okay.
but I just thought, you know, for the public, it's much easier to understand. And, because you can actually
See it.
see it. The grays and the blacks did nothing for me. So if we could have a motion to,
To open a warrant on December 2nd for a special town meeting.
scheduled for December 17th. The place would be Rebels Lane School,
At Ruggles Lane School on
6
December
PM.
17th at 6 p.m.
And would you make sure that the,
We just have to make sure.
did you talk with Josh?
So we already have an email out, gonna be in the town clerk, so I would say maybe make a discussion vote, December 2nd will be when we open and close it, but this vote would be to go forth with making sure we can get the people that are involved, that we need to be there and make sure Ruggles Lane is open in
Yeah.
the time, and that we're all set
So you're
for
saying
that.
you're not sure about December 17th because of Josh's schedule?
We have to
because-
make sure that they can go
Okay.
ahead and,
If it's available.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, sometimes he'll just ask somebody else to do the job if he's not available, if we need to go forward. Obviously,
To do what?
we need
moderate?
Josh, if he appoints somebody else to act on his behalf, that would be up to him. He's usually very available,
Yes,
and he usually gets back to us ASAP. If we had to do a very quick meeting to, you know,
exactly.
we'll have to.
But yes, you do need to make a vote to make sure we
Yeah.
can.
But we want to do it around December 17th, for sure.
Yes.
And if we do it, and that's a Thursday?
I think it's
That's
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
Yes, Tuesday.
If Ruggles Lane weren't available, we probably could house it in the town hall to be drawn up, but probably, yeah. Otherwise, you know, we could always go to the high school as well,
Okay,
if we had to.
okay, so,
We probably could hold it in this room if your estimate is any,
You still need the 50. and
I
whatever.
know.
Still need
That's
quorum.
successful.
I know.
I think that's the
but we'll,
minimum.
you know, we'll try to stay with the 17th
Yes.
time.
I'm hoping that everything works out with the 17th, where
Yeah,
we
okay.
can.
Well, just,
do
could you
Ruggles.
check that out like ASAP? So
Yep, it's already out there.
if
just
we
waiting
need
to
to
hear
get
back.
together earlier, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion made and seconded.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded to open a warrant for a town meeting to be held on December 17th, to open that warrant on December 2nd. Those in favor?
Aye.
Looks like a vote, and you just make sure we're all
100%.
set.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's already. just
All right, I
waiting.
think we have no other business this
I have a
evening.
question before you do
Okay.
close. Where do you stand with the chapter 90 now? Nothing?
We didn't take any action on that.
No
Yeah.
action?
On that, we didn't take any action on that truck at this time. And that doesn't preclude the fact that we may take action after, there's a commission meeting tomorrow night where we're doing interviews, but it is posted as a full commission meeting, so there may be further discussion on that there.
Yeah, I mean, that's not on the agenda. I think we're just doing interviews.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I don't know if we want to put it on there, I can call the chair and tell him to add it to the agenda. You don't feel like arm wrestling?
I mean, I think it was already discussed, I believe, at the commission
Yeah.
that there's support for it. So I think it's just a matter of us taking act, 'cause that was at the
Okay,
last
so
commission
we're
meeting.
ready to go, we can take action when we're ready.
That was my understanding, but
Okay.
I don't know if that was yours. Yeah.
Well,
That was mine.
It's fine, and if what you're asking for is some time to look at,
So, yeah, it's just a matter of getting a price for us to approve for it.
yeah,
So
okay,
I don't know that there's really need for discussion on,
okay. Works for-
I'm assuming we won't have prices by tomorrow. I mean, yeah, so,
Okay, so we do have 3 interviews tomorrow night, and so.
for
I
DPW
think-
superintendent.
Yeah,
What positions are those?
superintendent. also.
Superintendent for all,
Superintendent,
yeah.
so that's why it's posted as a full commission meeting, so that we can all be there. And obviously, some of the candidates are seeking to be, they have a confidential opportunity,
I
so.
actually printed to each one, because I know some don't have email, so
Okay,
I'm gonna pass them all.
Yep.
That's Tom had sent.
okay.
You all have the names and the dates.
Yep. Yeah, that email came through with attachments and resumes.
Yeah, and I have this, yeah, okay.
All right. And hopefully that'll be a successful night tomorrow, and
Well, when,
We'll go from there.
and if we find a candidate we really like, we chase him to the car. I'm serious. We've missed some really, I think some really strong candidates because of, you know, we waited 24 hours to call and people are out there really seriously interviewing.
all right. Well, I move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.